Hi, this is Dave from Nankin Hobby, and today we're going to be talking about the new Axial SCX10III Early Bronco Edition. Alright, so I recently got to drive the Axial SCX10III, the Early Bronco Edition, just newly released, and they did a really good job with the body. The body is super realistic. They did a good job with the cage. They have a lot of scale features with it, with having the spare tire in the back. There's a little pin that you can pull and the door is actually open. It's got tube doors, just like a real, just like you do on a real Jeep or Bronco vehicle. It's also got little shifters, steering wheel, gas, brake, and even a clutch pedal all in there, and it's kind of cool. They're just thin enough you can push them and they actually like move in and out. Doesn't actually do anything, but it looks cool. Super detailed as far as the interior goes. There's seats, floor, dash, all that, which are super cool to have, especially if you're into doing like competitions and things like that. It all gives you points. The windshield is also bolted on to the cage from the top. You could probably actually easily modify it to where the windshield will fold down, which would be kind of cool. The wipers are, I would say, realistically placed. They're mounted on the top just like the real like 70s style Broncos are. The truck comes with headlights and tail lights already in the car, which is a cool feature, great to have. Alright, so with the 10.3, the early Bronco, they did some things that were a little bit different than the other 10.3s. This is the first one to come out with the solid axles already, rather than the portal axles. And they do kind of change up some things with having the solid axles front and rear. They actually run longer shocks, which is cool. Gives it lots of flex, lots of articulation, but unfortunately that also has a downside, and it's really the only downside I found was the length of the shocks made it seem to kind of tip over fairly easy. That's really the only, I guess you would say, complaint I have about it. Other than that, the tires for being stock, they did really good. Like I said, I ran it at the Great Lakes Gauntlet, and it was able to go everywhere that the other cars went that were upgraded. Compared to like the 10.3, the Jeep or the Gladiator. Like I said, those sit a little bit lower, or at least have shorter shocks, so they're not as tippy. But the Bronco was able to last. Those trails are about two miles long, and it was actually able to hold up pretty well. It held up extremely well, considering it still had all the stock electronics in there, and there was some pretty gnarly rock gardens toward the end. The stock ready to run servo definitely wasn't happy, but it still held up, and that's normally something you'd upgrade down the road anyway. But for being ready to run, it was able to hold up, and between the trails it was about 6 hours worth of driving, and never had any issues. And like I said, the tires, they held up really well. The 10.3 does come with dig out of the box, and I was able to utilize dig to actually help on some of the steep downhills, and it even helped in some of the turning, in some of the spots where I had to make tight turns. I was able to use the dig and help kind of pivot the truck around. So there's definitely benefits to having that. I ran it on 3S, and 3S is fun because it gives you enough wheel speed. You can kind of jump little tree stumps and things like that, and that's always fun. So I was actually running it with a group of people that had stock 10.2, stock 10.3, and like I said, I was able to go pretty much everywhere they could go, and they had aftermarket wheels, aftermarket tires, so it did really, really good. I was definitely happy with it. So in conclusion, the 10.3, the early Bronco edition, I would definitely recommend it. If you want to make it more realistic, you can even put shorter shocks on it to kind of limit the travel. That's really the only thing that I would recommend. We will be kind of building up this one to make it look a little bit more realistic, changing some things. So you can kind of follow along with that. And like I said, with any ready to run, a stock servo is definitely another good upgrade. After that, I would say wheels and tires, but the stock wheels and tires as of right now actually look pretty good and they handle pretty good. So overall, I would rate the Axial SCX10III Early Bronco Edition, I would say it's an 8 out of 10. They nailed it with the scale appearances, and they did a pretty good job with the regular Axial performance. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching. We can't wait to see you again.